Welcome back to the TI4 qualifiers for the China region, presented by Monster. My name is Sunspan, joined by Cinder and Fear, LD. We have quite a few potential tiebreakers coming up, but this game is, who is it? DT versus LG, which we've been waiting for quite a while.
Kind of a big deal. Yeah. In theory, it's the 1-2 teams going into the tournament. Still could be, but yeah, DT's looked a little bit shakier. LGD did drop a game here or there, but in the end, still, I think if they both make it to the playoffs, I still have them as 1-2.
Let me just really quickly bring on this screen, because then we can see. Okay, so this is the last game of the group stage. And if DT wins this, we have a three-way tie for second, which means that the top four is actually already set, but then they're playing for seeding.
Yes.
And if DT lose, then LGD are... No matter what, LGD is first. That's already set in stone. But if DT lose, we have a two-way tie for second and a three-way tie for fourth.
Yes.
So...
There's a guaranteed three-way tie with the possible bonus of a two-way tie.
It's pretty sick. We could be in for a long night.
Yeah. Well, not that long. I guess at most it's 3 games to play for the three-way tie and maybe 1 extra for the two-way. So
that's true. So it's another potential 4 games and guaranteed 3 games. So it's 3 or 4 games, depending on this match. And LGD obviously the favorites, but then again you could also say, well, this game there's nothing on the line for them at all. They could just forfeit this. This is not really an important game for them whatsoever. So again, we're kind of stuck with the situation that we had in the Americas qualifier, where we had Team Liquid who could play. They played their last game and it didn't matter to them, but it actually mattered to the other teams. Same scenario once again.
I think it technically doesn't matter, like in terms of their personal playoff scenario. They'll get in regardless as first, like you said. But I actually think it should matter. There's a decent chance you see DT again. You have a shot here to force them into tiebreakers. Maybe they even get knocked out and are in a worse position going into the playoffs. So you don't take your foot off the pedal here. To me, you go hard at DT. You try and make their road as difficult as possible. The last time LGD and DT faced in a playoff match, they actually got 2-0'd by LGD. Or LGD got 2-0'd by DT. So that was the game where we saw errors like 90-plus minute Brewmaster. I don't think LGD is going to take DT lightly. That's just my feeling.
Yeah,
so. Fear, what do you think?
I think LGD is going to play hard as well. I don't think Chinese teams in general slack off at any point.
No, that's true. Culturally speaking, their teams tend to take every game very seriously.
Exactly. So I think they're going to try as hard as they can, and we're in for a good game.
Predictions? What do you guys think?
I think DT will take it. They've been kind of shaky, as we talked about, but... And I do agree that LGD is not going to take it easy, but I still think DT is going to take this game.
Okay. Send?
DT got Brew. Spoiler
alert.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I'm with you on DT, but it's not... it was a good trade-off, as you guys will see on the stream really soon. They traded it for another good hero. But I'll say DT because I think right now... Like you said, it's a really important game for them. Sure, LGD will do what they can, but I feel like DT has more to fight for than LGD does in this game. Sure, you want to knock down or try to knock down Dreamtime, but at the same time, Dreamtime are going to be playing 100% because this is really important to them.
Yeah.
So.
Well, guys, with that said, the stakes are set now. DT, they need a win here to guarantee themselves an easy road in the playoffs. Otherwise, it will go to tiebreakers for them. Well, either way, there will be tiebreakers, but it just makes things a lot simpler for them with a win here. So with that being said, LGD versus DT. Let's go. The draft's underway, and, well, like Cinderin said, it was a good trade. It's a first overall pick, Batrider. The reply is pretty strong from DT as well. Fear, they get a Brewmaster and a Centaur.
Indeed they do. Brewmaster opening for Air. It seems like this guy only plays 2 heroes, one of them getting banned out in the first phase. That is the Night Stalker, but they grab that Brewmaster early on with the Centaur Warrunner. So they got 2 frontliners as well. So they're likely... I guess they need a safe lane here. They don't really run this Brewmaster in the safe lane, if I do recall. It's just Air always playing it in mid. And the trade-off is going to be a Batrider into Treant Protector. Does LGD run Treant Protector a lot? I don't see it a lot out of them.
No, I don't know. I haven't seen them run it often at all.
I haven't seen them run Treant Protector at all.
To be fair, there's been a lot of games going on during the qualifiers. Neither of us have gotten to watch all of them, but... coming into the tournament, Tree was not like a go-to LGD hero. Normally, they tend to favor supports that have a lot of burst damage and I would say like mid-game teamfight potential. Heroes like Shadow Demon, Visage, Ancient Apparition, occasionally junglers for DD. But yeah, this is classic Dreamtime. They love to run the very strong 4v5 lineup where they can put have XDD off of more of a hard carry like a Morphlane. Potentially a Spectre, that's one of their big go-tos, which actually was not banned. Spectre, well, I think that was the hero they beat LGD with in the 90-minute game, was a Spectre with Refresher. I think he had 7 or 8 items at that point, so it is left out there. LGD, obviously, that one left to mark, so they're giving it away if they want to, but they know what they're doing.
Yeah, well, Spectre in this game would be really weak for me, because like LGD could easily run that aggressive try with the Train Protector, and Spectre can't do anything there, so that'd be a little rough for them. And they're going to pick up the Morphling, which is, they're going to be their safe lane carry. Good pickup here. LGD hasn't revealed too much other than their offlaner and one support. I'm not sure what why Train was picked so early, especially against the Brewmaster. When he does ult, he just kills Refraction with that Fire Panda on top of 3 extra units hitting it like on the Treant's armor. So not sure what that Train picker is about, but
we've seen, I guess the only thing I could think of is we have seen some teams bully offlane Centaurs, especially on Dire side with Tree, because level 1 you get boots, you can right click them with Leech Seed, but I mean, there's a lot of other support combos that can shut down Centaur.
Right.
So
just against me, for me, it's just like Panda. It's like heroes that can stop him from getting his ult off are really good. Batrider's great. Treant does nothing to that. Root doesn't actually stop you from getting off spells, so you can get that off. They're going to take the Rubik. We've been seeing a lot of Rubik against Brewmaster matchups, but I have not been seeing too many steals of like the Primal Split, to be honest with you, with the Brewmaster. But maybe he'll be able to get it this game.
I've seen a handful, but yeah, it's not like the auto steals that there was a phase where Brew was seeing a lot of play, and I felt like every game Rubik had a fast blink and just stole every single Panda ult. Air actually did give away his Brewmaster ult. I think it was twice yesterday.
Oh, really? I didn't see that game.
It was in the it was the LGD C-Deck versus DT match. That was actually the game they lost. So LGD C-Deck, a team that I counted out coming in, but now in a position where they might be able to advance. So
it's also really good if you blink in, you can instant telekinesis and chain stun him before he gets the ult off. So there's always that aspect.
Nice against Centaur too. If you're quick when he jumps in, you just lift him.
Right.
You can steal potentially Stampede because he often initiates with that, and then just run away. So good spells for Rubik to steal this game. Morphling spells are quite strong as well. I guess the one thing that I'm wondering here for LGD is like, what's the approach from here? They've revealed their supports, but what kind of a game do they want to play? Do they want to try and take it late against the Morphling? We've seen LGD sometimes will run their early pushing strats.
They also love Lifestealer, good with Batrider, good against Centaur.
Not so good against Morphling.
It's not good against Morphling at all, but
or even Brewmaster. Like, sure, you can rage out of the Drunken Haze, but he can still he has evasion. He's hard to burst down, and once rage ends, he can Cyclone or Boulder Toss you.
I'm not the hugest fan of Lifestealer. I just know LGD still love that hero for some reason.
he has felt weak in the few matches we've seen him recently. Situationally, can be very strong, but they'll go for the Luna. So a hero that's pretty versatile, can go late. Can apply a lot of early pressure to towers. The one weird thing is that they've gone Luna with Tree and Rubik, and oftentimes when we see teams go Luna, they do it with a support that can push, whether it's Shadow Shaman, Chen, Enchantress,
and a lot of times you'll see it with Shadow Demon as well. Not going to have it this
for
game.
the 5 Luna strat.
Yeah, the 5 Luna strat and late game. But we were going to have the classic Luna versus Morphling matchup. A lot of people still argue who wins this late game. You're like, Morphling can replicate the Luna, you have the clone, very strong, but early on in the game, Luna's ultimate can completely destroy Morphling if he's out of position at any point of the game. I prefer Luna in this matchup, but it can go either way.
My one concern for LGD is if they're not, like, it's hard to push into Dreamtime, right? Once they get level 6, they've got Brewmaster ult, they have Centaur ult. If those are up, maybe you find a good pickoff with Lasso, but if you don't, then you're not taking towers in the mid-game.
Yes.
And if you're not taking towers, you want to be ganking the Morphling or at least securing equally good late-game farm, but I think Dreamtime would come out on top there. Morphling's pretty tough for this lineup to gank. All they really have on him right now is Bat. Rubik, maybe if he gets farmed, is decent, but
yeah, it's alright. But they don't necessarily need to kill Morphling. I think their late game is really good as well. It's like Brewmaster against Luna late game is not very good. Like,
yeah, that's true. The aspects just get destroyed.
Yeah, they get destroyed. So Brewmaster for me always has the thing. He has to get a lot done early, and they have to push early. So that's why I really love that Chen pick as well. Chen is a hero where you can just get a lot of work done, push really early with the Brewmaster, and it's gonna be really hard to fight into that, especially with that Doom pickup. I mean,
now the Morphling won't have so much fun.
It's good counter to Morphling, but
and Brewmaster for that matter.
Also good against Brewmaster. So the Doom is going to be great, but against Shadow Shaman and the Brewmaster and the Chen push, they're going to have a rough time defending towers, I feel, with that Doom.
Yeah, it looks like their draft is more focused on getting pickoffs, where you find snipes with the Doom, Nature's Guys you can use to set up those ganks, and Bat can get the early blink and go for some kills, but yeah, they are a bit lacking in counter push. In fact, you look at the hexagons and it's their lowest category along with push, which is pretty underwhelming as well, to be honest. All they really have is Luna for that, so no push. Well, not no push, but relatively weak push and almost no counter push to speak of. It's heavily reliant on the gank.
And it looks like Rabbit is playing Bat Rider.
So maybe a solo mid Bat and the off-lane Doom.
Yeah, I guess so. Lin usually plays their mid for the most part, so will they do that mid Doom? It's a potential, but I actually haven't seen Yao been playing carry. I thought Rabbit was almost always playing their carry, but Rabbit's playing their Bat Rider.
They had changed it up coming into the qualifiers, where occasionally, like, Xiaotuji would tend to go mid, and they'd even put Lin on the safe lane. But if he's going off lane, that is a bit weird. And well, in the end, we'll see how the lanes develop. But we introduced the teams now. LGD guaranteed first place through the group stage, but that does not mean they're going to Seattle. It just means they've got the easier road. So they have to win one best of 3 after this game, however it turns out, and then they will at least go as the wildcard team from China. With that said, we introduce the teams now. Yao bringing up the rear as the Luna, not normally playing carry for this squad. DDC on that support Rubik. That puts Lin onto the Doom, probably headed to the offlane. DD handling the Treant Protector, and that does leave Xiaotuji, or the Little Rabbit, as the Bat. So, well, he's got boots first. We'll have to see how they look to lane it. And on the dire side, Team DT, we could have a level 1 clash. XDD on the Morph lane, the one who might get caught a super on the Chen. LGD do not want to let him set up shop in the jungle. They're going to try to drop some wards here, I imagine. Dreamy You, your Shadow Shaman. The double sentries come out as we rotate towards mid. Air on his signature Brewmaster, and that does as the offlaner.
I think they're going to aggressive tri-lane. I think this is a good choice with the
Luna tri-lane.
Yeah, the Luna tri-lane. What do they have to deal against? A Morphling Shadow Shaman Chen lane? That's manageable completely. And they can just put Bat Rider 1v1 against the Centaur down here. And it looks like that's exactly what they're going to do. So they're still going to be doing the mid Doom here in the aggressive tri-lane. I do like this a lot. I think it gives them a good advantage in the laning phase.
Well, I guess the good news is at the very least they deward the big camp. So Chen can have an okay start. The one other thing we occasionally see teams do is when this kind of a lane develops is they just look to dodge the tri-lane and either leave one hero there and sack him. I guess ideally it would be the Centaur, who's already taking some pot shots bottom lane and being harassed out by Bat Rider. Or you see them just go for a lot of smoke ganks.
Yeah. He just casually double-edged the Bat Rider there and took the worst exchange there. But yeah, Morph's gonna have a hard time in this lane, I feel. It really depends on what creeps Chen can get and come help this lane as soon as he possibly can.
Yeah, Monoburn creep would be pretty nice here to deprive the supports of their ability to harass or threaten for kills. Satyr's not too shabby, but even getting like your standard killing creep is, well, if you catch out the Rubik, maybe, but otherwise these heroes are not easy to bring down. Luna's quite fast, Tran's pretty tanky, but we'll see what creeps they get. Lane is pushing in, they are going for pulls. The actual pull camp hasn't been blocked, though now it will be contested, but LGD just soaking up some experience there, and I guess we can take a quick look at our mid matchup. It's going to be a Doom versus a Brewmaster.
That should go the way of Brewmaster. But you're still going to get farm on the Doom. The Devour's just going to make up for gold lost. And Bat Rider should be winning bottom lane as well, so if LGD does this right, they could be winning 2 lanes here.
Yeah, and at least trading evenly mid at the very worst. Even if Doom loses the lane, he can still just catch up in the jungle and be a high impact here in the mid game.
And we've got an Alpha Wolf with Chen's first creep. Not exactly what he was looking for, but it'll help.
Easy last hits.
Yeah, it'll help shove the lane in a little bit too, so they can go for a pool because they were able to deward it. Now we respawn in 20 seconds.
All right, LGD. Actually, they've got a Salve just chilling on the Rubik here for now. I think Yao's out of inventory space, but Yao CSing pretty well, 7-2. The Morphling 3-0. Morphling not the best comeback hero in general.
No, if they're able to shut him down, that's the hero that just cannot come back. He just needs too many items, and if he gets off to a bad start and he can't reach those items, he gets really far behind, and Doombringer especially is a great hero of punishing that if you can get that blink up or that Lothar. I doubt it'll be a Lothar, but a blink is a possibility after the mech.
So, pretty passive start from both teams. They have gone aggressive tri-lane, but they're not really threatening for kills just yet. And it looks like they'll play keep away here. They know the Morphling's going to have a tough time mid, but they're going to put pressure on the enemy, or top, but they're going to put pressure on the enemy mid lane as Super and Dreamy You will make the wrap around here. Courier's going back to base. If they can get off a clap to start this off, it'll be an easy kill, but Lin's already headed to the north. He anticipates the gank, and in fact, well, has he anticipated? He walks right back into them. Maybe not. He gets caught by the shackles. The Centaur Stomp will follow. They might need some body blocking here to get in range for this clap. No, they barely get it off. The automatic crit. That secures first blood for Lin. I thought he had sniffed it out, but then he walked right back into it.
Yeah, I thought he was just going to run up north too, but he didn't see one of them. I think it was the Chen. He didn't see the creep there and got caught out in the end. So he's going to go down. That's going to be our first blood. And checking out our bottom matchup here, Centaur's actually not doing too bad against Bat Rider. with that magic stick. So if he's able to keep getting levels here and get that blink up, they're going to be the playmakers. It's basically, actually DT has 2 playmakers. They have the Panda and the Centaur for when they get the blinks up. But Bat Rider is going to be the bigger threat if he can get that blink up really quickly.
Yeah, he is still farming a bit better than the Centaur, about 7 CS up. The Panda neck and neck with him for now. But I like what DT did. They recognize, as you were rightly pointing out, that they don't have the strongest lanes, especially in their safe lane, so they just break the lanes down early. Go for some smoke ganks and try and find the weak points. And Doom solo mid, he's a fairly high HP hero, but with low armor, it's fairly tanky, or isn't that tanky with XDD getting lifted up top lane. They won't go in on him just yet, but yeah, basically just breaking down the lanes when you have crappier lanes is generally a smart play.
Yeah, but Morphling is still going to be hurting. He's sitting at 3 CS, and we're at 4 minutes into the game. Luna can pretty much just get all the denies she wants with that aura. As I say that, she gets a couple last hits. But Morph's not going to have an easy time here, which is going to put a lot of pressure on this Brewmaster and the Centaur to actually make plays this game.
Meanwhile, Tree's on the move now, and he's just going to try and harass this Chen a bit. We'll take over a new Centaur. Doesn't give away the experience for that, but realizing that they can win this lane 2v2 or 2v1 and just making the early rotation. So trying to slow down the Chen. Looks like they're going to group up again with the Centaur in their own jungle. And they'll go for a smoke this time. Also not spotted. They'll go for the top lane. Shadow Shaman, his level 3 is not skilled up his 3rd skill point just yet. So we'll see if he goes for the Hex or the Ether Shock. They don't have the best initiating stun here, though. And it looks like DD...
He's going to break this smoke.
He broke the smoke. Didn't see them just yet. They are hiding behind the tree line, but, well, now he's going to spot the Centaur. And that's pretty much the end of the gank. Well, maybe not. Dreamy comes in. He'll get off the shackles here. DDC can lift the Centaur. He drops the Centaur back down, which then stomps DD, but the backups arrive. Over the top comes the Test of Fate, the waveform as well. And XDD will make an escape. Interesting there that he didn't just like lift the Shadow Shaman and throw him back.
Yeah, he went for the Centaur instead.
And then dropped him straight down.
Yeah.
And the tree walked back in, so...
And that gave Morphling a kill, actually. He's the one that picked up the kill there, so he's sitting on 4 CS. That's a kill he desperately needed. So that's going to help him just a little bit throughout
that kill over doubles his income this game. Yeah. That's not from passive gold game.
Yeah, that's kind of a big deal, for sure.
And the Panda's farming well for air, so this is where for DT, the Morphling's going to be under farm. That's a guarantee, even with that kill. But if air can get a fast blink and his first ult is effective, then the Morphling has space to farm, and he can catch up. And it is still an aggressive tri-lane Luna, so level-wise, she's not going to be doing particularly well. Level 4, not too shabby, as the tree did leave the lane, but...
Tree sacrifices levels just a little bit here, but can't say more than... But, like, Air has so much pressure on him this game to actually make space with this first Panda ultimate.
Yeah. Well, he's delivered in the clutch there so often. Yeah. We saw him a bit shaky earlier today versus LGD C-Deck, but with so much on the line here for DT... If anyone could step up for them, it should be him. Threatening for a clap. He'll get that auto crit off and actually keeps on going, though he doesn't have mana. He wanted his bottle first. Now he'll bottle up the rune, and, well, he takes it. Tries to get out that last bottle charge first before doing so. Cheeky play.
Yeah, a little bit of harassment from the tree, forcing him around the long way. Giving Doom some much-needed farm in mid, because he was falling behind fast.
Is this our 3rd smoke gank? We see 2 heroes on the move again? No smoke.
No smoke. They're just going to walk.
If they get off this ultimate, Lin's in trouble. The Centaur ult's drop. He hasn't actually used the split just yet. Where's that Doom? He finally gets it off, but it's very late. And, well, it looks like it'll be enough. Yep. But it's a defensive Doom, so Panda Split's still available. He's not going to die, and now he's got a free reign over this middle lane.
Right. I don't think he planned on using that Doom anytime soon. Doom's not really a hero that rotates around too much, so not the biggest deal dropping the Doom there. Could have got off a little earlier and not taken as much damage. And he has a ice armor creep now, so he's going to be very tanky in this mid lane and hard to kill, even if Brewmaster is able to get his ultimate off.
Yeah, makes life a little bit tougher for an already very poor and underfarmed Morphling who's still level 4. So he's quite far behind. A lot of denies. The creep wave hasn't always been in his tower, but... Well, he's getting what he can out of the lane. And now Xiaotuji with the lasso online. Do they have Nature's Guise yet? Maybe he'll try and sneak up here?
No, they do not. He's only level 3 on Treant Protector.
He's a bit underleveled.
Yeah, he was roaming around to give Luna levels, which I do like, but he didn't accomplish too much with his roaming, that's the thing.
He annoyed the Chen, but the Chen ultimately still found 2 smoke ganks, one of which the second one should have been avoided.
Right. Well, good thing about them, they realize he's underleveled, and they rotate back to the jungle and just give the Treant a free farm lane. So... Good rotation there. Bat will get his Blink Dagger relatively soon if he keeps farming the jungle. He's still only up to 1,200 gold right now. But they do need levels on Treant. You can't have an under-leveled Treant. You need points up. Especially, you just need to get that overgrowth up. Especially this game. You can just catch up. And it's not even that good this game. it's decent. Morph can morph out of it. You can put Centaur in place. Panda can get out of it too. And you're unlikely you're going to get on the Shadow Shaman. So it's not the greatest thing to have, but just having levels up in your living armor will always be important.
Well, those two heroes in the jungle, they're going to now rotate down. They find DDC in the river. The clap crit would secure kill, and it's a long-range shackle to set this one up. And they're not even going to bother. They'll actually get the kill for XDD. So it does delay the Blink Dagger a little bit for Air, but hey, Morphly needs to catch up and let the catch-up commence.
And he's going to grab an Invisibility Rune here, and he's getting close to his Blinker. Looks like he's rushing it with going Brown Boot straight to Blink Dagger. I do like this choice a lot.
This is, they're 3 for 3 on these rotations. That one, I believe, was not a smoke gank. They just walked down the river. The other two were.
It was a smoke.
Oh, it was a smoke.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we caught it a bit late here on the main camera, I guess, but shots fired.
Shots fired.
At our nameless observer, so I'm not really firing shots. It's gods. Everyone fire. Blame gods for that one, guys. I'm just kidding. We caught the kill. That's what matters. But yeah, the Blink Dagger's still pretty quick. So Fear, I mean, I just like DT's overall approach. Like you were pointing out, they knew their lanes weren't good, and they've just adapted to that by rotating a lot early, securing runes, and not playing like a true laning game.
Right. They made the best out of what was pretty bad situation as far as the laning phase went. So getting a lot done with the little wiggle room that they did have.
Well, they saw this Panda pick up the Invis rune top. There is a Radiant Observer Ward there, and you see Yao behind the tier 2. He doesn't want a piece of this, and Air will be wasting time when he could be farming Blink Dagger, but it secures them that first tower. They also have one decent creep to push here in the Wildkin. No level 6 yet on Shadow Shaman, unfortunately, so it seems the push will end here, as Air will be fighting his support for some CS.
Indeed. Right now, DT could have asked for a better start. Like I legitimately thought they were going to be in trouble early game, just the way the lanes were going to shape out. They're going to win 2 lanes, potentially 3, seeing that mid was kind of a wash. But they were able to get 2 kills on the Morphling, which he kind of just came in and stole both of them. But still, kills going to his name, and he really needed them, so he got kind of bailed out there. And he's caught up in farm. He does have his treads up. He does have a double bottle on him. Air's just giving him his bottle for some reason. But
well.
He's going to be farming up, and Brewmaster's, he has his Blink, and guess what? Centaur, he's got his Blink very soon too, so they're going to have all their Blinks up very soon, which is going to be very scary for this Luna.
LGD, well, yeah, the Luna's got to be worried, and the Rubik has to be very quick on the lift trigger. If he can disrupt the chain of initiation, lift when the Centaur blinks in, or even the Panda, it might give them a fighting shot to get off a Doom, get off a Lasso, but if they're split seconds slow, life could be very sad. As LGD will be the first team to make a big mid-game move. We're 10 minutes in. They're smoky right now. Looking at the waves, the top lane's pushing in a bit, but there's no tier 1 there to defend, and bottom lane is pushing out. Mid lane's in the river, so not terribly obvious from LGD, except, well, they're going in top now. They dive. They will lasso up XDD, but he starts Strength Morphing. He gets it off, and, well, even through the Doom, he'll be quite A-okay. In fact, Air's going to re-engage. He pops just the double damage rune. No mana for ultimate, and not fully committing to this, but... Man, Morph's so strong.
Yeah, that's the problem with you when you lead with Lasso like that. He can just start his strength Morph. You need to get that Doom off first, silence him so he can't get the Morph. So they ended up blowing a Doom and a Lasso there, not getting the kill. They did have to use the defensive Stampede as well, which is going to be another thing that's really good against Doombringer too. You Doom a target, Stampede, and he can usually just run away. In mid lane, looks like they're going to go in here.
That's a nice overgrowth, but they got their Shadow Shaman wards in the middle of this engagement. They get dropped immediately, and LGD are fighting into the Brewmaster split, into the Shadow Shaman wards. They Cyclone up the Luna. They've already brought down 2 for the price of 1. The tower's the goal, an eye on the prize, that's what they'll focus on. Looks like they want to retreat out the Earth Panda, no Rubik here to steal it, so no Panda ult to be worried about losing. Tower might not die to this, but it will drop very low and probably into deny range. Well, maybe not. Living Armor's coming soon, and I guess they'll look to heal it up. So,
yeah,
in the end, a 2 for 1.
Yeah, indeed. I thought they should have just like focused the Shadow Shaman wards on the tower there and forced out a deny right there, but because they're playing into Stream Protector, you can't just chip towers against Stream Protector. They're just going to heal this back to full. Looks like they're going for a counter push here as well.
That's a 12-minute mech on a Chen who's moved at least 5 times through the jungle. That is quite impressive. Only 29 CS, which at 22 minutes is quite low, but considering the way he's played, this is about as good a start as you can get, and frankly, mech's a very important item this game. LGD with the Batrider initiation, the Doom as well. This could be the difference between going down to those spells or turning the fight around, replicating out, Panda splitting. Yes. That's a big item.
It is a huge item. It feels like they all have their core items here. I mean, Shadow Shaman, he's at 800 gold in Arcane Boots. Not too bad, considering he was just roaming around as well.
And if they get a blink, then Luna, you already mentioned she's in trouble. She's just food at that point.
Yeah, they all have their core items right now for the mid game. They have the mech, they have the double blink, and that's pretty much all they need to fight right now. And are we going to have another smoke? It looks like they're gathering up. They do have a smoke on the Treant. They need to make things happen right now. And I'm really surprised that Luna is not just going bottom and farming. She's just kind of chilling around and being really active. And all that farm she had early, she's kind of stuck on those items because she hasn't been farming.
And she hasn't gone for greedy items either.
No.
We do see now a Mask of Death come out, but there's no Dominator completed yet, no Midas. You wouldn't expect it with the offensive tri-lane, but the end result is that she's not pulling away from DT.
Nope, and looks like they're going to catch nobody with this smoke. So yet another unsuccessful smoke gank.
DT nailed every single smoke gank or just early rotation, and LGD have yet to nail a single one. Xiaotuji will be fishing for one, and maybe I've jinxed DT here, but in comes the Centaur. He goes for the stomp. He does get lifted up. Now the tree and overgrowth. They doom in July as well. The Eclipse comes through. Fantastic teamwork from LGD. They'll bring down 3. The Panda, did he buy back, or is that just a visual glitch?
That is a visual
That's
glitch.
a visual glitch, so
Yeah.
didn't actually buy back, but 3-0.
Yeah, he had Panda open in like 3 seconds. So if they played that a little more patient, they actually probably could have taken that.
Morphling, feeling ballsy here. Well, I think he'll be okay. But trying to slow down this push a bit.
Yeah, he's going to have to go heal, though. So every time you do go in with morph like that, you are hard to kill. But once you morph all your stats like that, you pretty much have to go heal because you have no damage. You can't farm anymore, and you have to morph everything back.
Chen was level 6, right? I'm pretty sure he was level 6 with the mech when that fight started.
Yeah.
But he did not Hand of God. And he
No,
wasn't there for
still
the
up.
mech either.
Indeed, he was not.
I don't know. Do you think Hand of God would have turned that fight, or?
It could have. It very well could have, but I don't think it would have turned the fight. It may have helped 1 or 2 survive at best.
Okay. Well, DT instead, they'll wait for the Panda to respawn. Now they've got the smoke and 5 heroes head
He
bottom.
just blinked. What the hell?
Looking for DD, not DT. Too many letters D in this game. DDC, DD, DT. It's all coming apart here.
There's a lot of D's here. Let's put it that way.
Indeed. In more ways than one.
Oh, he hexed an illusion there. Was that what illusion was that? Just a normal illusion from the Doombringer. So if they were paying attention, they would have scouted that out. And it looks like they're pinging on it right now. So they are full aware of the smoking.
Well, DT, the smoke gank, the first one of the game that doesn't work. I guess the jinx is stronger than I thought. Between saying though they've dodged everything and they haven't they've been successful every time. Now they've failed on both counts.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that DT was the one to get picked out there, considering that they had the dual blink daggers up at this point.
Yeah, this is a really strong timing for DT, but now LGD's gotten their mech. Luna working towards that level 2 Eclipse, does have a Dominator aligned and has begun to stack Ancients, as we can see on the minimap, but here comes the push at the bottom lane. They'll try and take away this tier 1 tower. It's fairly important, but LGD are pretty mobile with Luna and Batrider, good at split pushing, so even losing a tier 1 in their safe lane, it's not ideal, but it's not the end of the world.
6 deny.
DD with the plays.
I mean, usually it's not too important to lose tier 1 towers, but I feel like whenever you have a Treant Protector, defending your tier 1s is really important for that hero, or just towers in general, because you can heal them back to full. So I guess they didn't want to fight into the brew of old, so they could have lost that team fight regardless, but they can't lose too many towers against Treant Protector, in my opinion.
Yeah, and DT are still happy to trade, even if it's a tower deny. A tower down is a tower down,
Yeah.
period.
We've seen so many Shadow Shaman Wars this game, too.
That's our mot note of the game. A tower down is a tower down. Rubik will steal waveform.
That's a wonderful spell to have, actually.
Yeah, it's really strong. Ideally, you get the strength morph and then you get the waveform, but he'll take it.
Yeah. The burst damage is just insane when you do the Fade Bolt on top of the waveform in a team fight. If you can hit like 3 or 4 heroes with that, even with the mech, they can burn through them very easily.
Xiaotuji's waiting. He's already got a Force Staff out. This is a really nice item progression for a Batrider. Had a slightly easier matchup with as the safe lane Bat with an uncontested jungle versus the offlane Centaur, but still, Xiaotuji. He's showcasing his versatility this qualifier. He was mostly known for his safe lane carries. Only played one real style with Xiao 8, but we're seeing him diversify now and doing well so far. Let's see if he can continue to deliver.
Another smoke gank. Holy crap, these teams are blowing all their smokes early game.
They've all got to be. They maybe there's one left on DT, but that's. I think they've used 4 at this point. So they should be out.
DT should be out. LGD might have one more, but I think they're both probably out. Every time Shadow Shaman wards are up, they are pushing towers, so I do like that, along with the Chen creeps going in there, but it looks like they want to fight this.
They go in, they get the lasso off on the Chen. In July tries to cancel the initiation. He does stun the Doom. Super gets off his combo, the heal, the Hand of God, and now the Panda split comes through. Lin on the run. Morphling tanking up through the damage. Stampede's been stolen by the Rubik, but who's left to use it? DDC flying around. No, just sitting on the low ground for now. The Morphling will wave out. Xiaotuji continues the heavy pursuit, but at this point, that morph's too tanky. 450 HP. So in the end, they lose 3, and the Doom will fall as well on the Radiant side.
That's really surprising. Usually when you see Panda ult go down this early in the game, they usually win the team fight, but even with the Panda ult, they're still able to win the team fight with that Luna ult. I believe it was that level 2 before the fight? I'm not exactly sure, but if it was only level 1 at that point, so they didn't even have the level 2 Luna ult, and they still won that team fight.
Yeah, and I think the other thing this shows is just Shadow Shaman wards were dropped at the tower, weren't really involved in the primary engagement, and Morphling just doesn't do much at this phase of the game. Sure, he's tanky, but you compare the amount of damage Morphling did in that fight to the Luna, and I'm sure the Luna did like 3, 4, 5 times as much damage. Plus, she's giving her team more right clicks, so you have to factor that in as well.
Yeah, and I believe when you drop the Overgrowth as well, it catches all 3 Pandas. So that's actually a good thing they can do as well in the team fights. When Panda pops his ult, pop that Overgrowth, just stop them in their tracks for a little bit. And that'll give a lot of room for Yao to just right-click them down, as soon as he gets his BKB at least.
Well, Centaur will slowly work his way towards a pipe, but for DT, you just look at the Morphling's net worth and say it's just not good enough right now. Like, he's up against a lot of lockdown. Doom Batrider to me is possibly the best combination of heroes to lock a Morphling down, even later on in the game. You blink in Force Staff, then you can lasso him, you can jump in with the Doom level death and go for a Doom, potentially, depending on how quick he is on the replicate reactions, and it's as good as you're going to get against the Morphling. And the Morphling's fairly poor, so I worry about his late game impact here.
It's going to be very hard for him. He's going to have to keep farming, of course. He did have a really rough lane.
That's a Mott node. He's going to have to be
Mott nodes. But yeah, in mid lane as well, they keep dropping these Shadow Shaman wards here. And look at this. It's full HP again against Treant. If they want to go for these towers, they have to just commit to it. You can't just casually drop Shadow Shaman wards on a tier 1 and try and ship it down.
And you go back to the previous fight, if the 2 fights ago when they dropped the wards, if they'd focused it, it would have been denied or killed by the wards. So, well, now the tier 1's up, and then now they're trying to go Roche. So maybe this is where DT get caught. LGD are grouped up near their own tower. They've got a smoke. This has to be the last one for some time. It's too late, though. The wards and the Panda crit, it's enough to bring down Roche, and DT pull a fast one on LGD. They got caught with their pants down, and they will smoke anyway. So Xiao Tuji make his move across the river here. Just perched in position. I'm not going to go in just yet.
They're just chilling. Literally just chilling, and while the other team
this is kind of, it's getting obvious at this point. Bottom lane's pushing in. Nobody's showing in any lanes. And I mean, they just took Roche, right? So
I'm curious, what are we gonna go for on our Morphling here? He's up to 2,700 gold.
Straight shotgun?
It wouldn't be a bad idea. His levels are lacking a little bit, so if he does go for shotgun, he may not have a high level in Adaptive Strike to get that shotgun off. So I'm not sure. It looks like he's bringing out something now. Just an Ultimate Orb, so it's probably just gonna be your standard Lincolns.
Yeah, it seemed like XDD was also mulling it over a bit. Yeah. You know, what's the best choice here? But in the end, they'll just start split pushing now. They don't really want to take that 5v5 against LGD, even with the Aegis. Morphling's just not strong at this time. So they'll pressure the bottom lane, they'll push in the wave, and they'll see these LGD heroes clump up top. But I imagine this is where DT will just sack the tower, try to go for a trade.
They even use a glyph here. That's very curious.
They're not going to get a trade off of this.
Yeah. Usually you just want to save your glyph if you know there's no way to get it. That way you have it for another tower. So it should be able to be back in defend in no time for mid. So
well, LGD are going to defend this tower mid. There is an initiation. Out comes In July. He catches a few with the stomp. The follow-up's there from the Panda, but the Overgrowth, as you mentioned, patiently reserved for after the Panda split. They're held in position. They didn't do too much to start this fight, but now they're finding a target. It's Lin on the Doom. There's a wave in as well. They try to focus him down. Doom is still available. He's just not going to pop it. He will go down in the end, and well, doesn't get the Doom off. And with that being said, 2 heroes have fallen. Hand of God was stolen by DDC, but who's there to heal? They're all already full HP, so.
And they're going to get that tower. Glyph will be popped, but they're for sure going to get this tower. Once again, it's another glyph that's kind of questionably used here. A lot of teams just popping glyph to waste time, but if you want to do that, you want to have someone on your side lanes farming, benefiting out of it. There's 5 heroes there anyway.
Key hero, that fight seemed like the Centaur. Jumps in, forces LGD to react. He secures the Panda ult right away, and then Doom's like, who do I Doom? Centaur's already used his combo. Panda's already ulted. There's just no one to Doom. And he just panicked and kind of ran away and died.
Yeah, he didn't get his Doom off that fight, so he's going to need it. He's going to need to get his Doom off at some point. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
With that being said, guys, 8-8, the score at 22 minutes. Technically, it's all tied up. It looks like the Radiant still have a slight gold lead, perhaps, but we'll hopefully get to take a look at our graphs here in a second. And we do see a 2,500 gold lead for the Radiant, as well as a 5,000 experience lead. So, Perfect World acting up a bit. We're putting Fear on camera duty.
I'm on camera duty.
Any
Don't
lack
fire
of
me,
smoothness,
guys.
we do apologize for. Fire Fear, 2014. But
Centaur, does he really want to do this?
he's going
He's
in.
doing
He's
some
going
bot
hard on
lane.
Yao right now. Just
And
kidding.
He's just trying to create some space, it looks like, but he has his team here. They're going to be here in
Tactical
no time. Oh, Rubik has actually channeled here.
Yeah, he stole in the last fight.
Yeah, so they have Doom up, but I don't think they can actually catch him here if he just wants to
He
stampede
has
out.
Stampede, and
Yeah.
Rubik not in range to...
No blink, nothing of that nature.
Okay.
Okay.
Mott's back in the game, guys. It's all okay.
You mean gods?
Yeah, I mean gods, of course. God snips. Oh, he says, I'm Australian in the most American possible voice. In July, they've stolen the Stampede. Can they get in range with this? Another Lucent Beam could spell his doom. Does he have a Blink Dagger at the ready? In July, blinking in the trees, goes for the TP out. No? Yeah, there you go. He will escape in the end. But top lane, looks like we'll have an engagement as Batrider gets caught out in the woods. No, just kidding.
Yeah, no way he's dying to that Morphling without...
This
an Ethereal
Morphling
Blade
is hitting like a muling kitten right now. He is very underwhelming.
And the Shadow Shalom didn't go for that Blink Dagger. He actually went for Force Staff. I don't mind that too much. Actually, it's okay. I was thinking if Force Staff was good for saving anyone here, but not really. And maybe a Doom's target or something like that could be good to get that Morphling out of trouble. So I guess when you are running like these Morphling Luna carries, getting that Force Staff up is always nice to get them out of position if they do get caught by a stun.
Yeah. It's not the best, though, when there's things like the Batrider lasso to worry about. He jumps in, he lassos you, and the Force Staff's pretty useless. So, we'll see. BKB is out on Xiaotuji, and actually, this is a concern for DT. When Batrider BKBs and jumps in, they have nothing on that initiation. Maybe they replicate out, or potentially hex him if he hasn't used BKB, but otherwise, they're just running.
Yeah, they can't actually stop that anymore. The only thing they can do is maybe he survives the lasso and you can stampede out of it, but their overgrowth will be there, most likely. So even that's not reliable. And we've almost got a BKB up on Doom as well, so I assume they're just going to wait for both of their BKBs. They have a BKB up on Luna, Batrider, probably waiting for that Doombringer, for that trifecta of BKBs, and just go push that tier 1 tower bottom.
Yeah, this is classic LGD gaming. Xiao8 has left the team, but the standard approach and style remains the same, which is a lot of early 5-man Dota, a lot of early BKBs, early mech, and great initiation. More of a pushing-oriented carry generally. Not as much of late-game Dota, not too much split push. They've drafted where they could run a duel or tricord.
DD on bottom lane. He's going to break the smoke, but he might pay for it.
Oh, he gets stomped, and do they actually have detection?
He's going back into the detection.
Oh, he's walking back into it. He'll get out this time.
Alright.
I'm honestly surprised that they haven't gone for a gem. Mainly for the map control, but DD just laughs.
That was awkward.
That was a 5-hero smoke that he destroyed.
That was their last... Like, they used all their smokes early game, so that must have been the smoke they just picked up off cooldown, and they're going to get nothing out of it, so they actually don't have a smoke for a while now.
Yeah, 9.5 minutes, apparently, for the Dire, and only a 1-minute cooldown for the Radiant, but these teams are...
9.5 minutes, ouch. That's a long time.
They're toking a lot, that's for sure. They won't have a smoke for the next Roach fight. Fortunately, they're Dire side, but still.
Yeah. But they already have the Aegis at this point, and do they want to use this Aegis? Or are they just going to use it purely defensively, just say, okay, Morphling, you can farm safely now for 6 minutes?
They secured his first item, the Lincoln Sphere, and he'll be well on his way to probably the E-Blade by the time the next Rush comes. So I think it's been a pretty effective Aegis, all things considered.
Yeah, not bad. Right now, I think they're fine with just taking it late game, but I still have to favor LGD in the late game here. Like, the Panda Brewmaster ult does get a lot weaker. The overgrowth is going to stay. Oh, and looks like we're going to have a lasso.
Batrider comes in. He finds Dreamy You. The Centaur will join the fight as well. Does stomp Lin. The Eclipse coming out, and no, not doing a whole lot actually. Looks like Luna was just ran away mid Eclipse. Didn't get much accomplished with that, and now Yao on the retreat out while Air will hunt for some pickoffs here. Looks like they will find Yao. They actually get the stomp off in July with the double-edged follow-up. They're potentially losing the Luna. She already popped her blink or her TP, and now just no way out as Panda blinks forward. He gets the crit. XDD will have a waveform in 1 second's time. Another blink forward. The double-edge secures the kill. It's a disaster for LGD. They lose the Luna, and no, Luna did not buy back. That is just another visual glitch. Volvo, please. $6.5 million stretch goal.
Yeah.
No more fake buybacks.
I was going to say it wouldn't have been too bad if they just killed the Doom there, because they committed so much to it. They used every single ult they had there to kill that Doombringer, but getting the Luna made it well worth it for DT there.
Yeah, and that's big for DT. Roche is coming up soon. On the back of this fight, they can look to push out the lane, secure map control. Well, coming back fairly soon anyway. And XDD they'll be pretty much of Eagle Horn or Eagle Song by the time the next Roche breaks out.
Yeah, he's at 2.3k, so he's farming well now, and the farm on Luna has halted a little bit because of that death.
Meanwhile, Bat's on the prowl, but just farming the enemy jungle, trying to do a bit of economic damage. By the way, there has been an ongoing warding battle of these Radiant H. Oh, hold that thought. DDC.
Just there were battles.
Trying to cliff dreamy you, not able to do it. But there has been an ongoing warding battle over these Radiant Ancients, and for the most part, they've been able to stack them. I think Luna cleared one stack already, and this is the second. I believe that's correct.
Yeah, there's another stack there. I didn't see. She did do a stack over there. I don't think it was a big one. It wasn't as big as this one.
It's like a double.
Yeah, it was like a double.
Okay.
So this is going to give her a lot of farm here, which she desperately needs to keep up with this Morphling. She is ahead of the Morphling still. Batrider's on top of our net worth, actually. He is incredibly farmed. And do they initiate on bottom lane? They don't have 2 heroes here. I'm not sure if this is the right call.
Well, he's hunting for these pickoffs, but they're trying to bait with a Chen replicate. And LGD are just like, nah, we ain't falling for that. Luna will continue to farm the Ancient, should have her Manta style complete just about any second now. Has looks like the recipe in the stash, and after the stack should be up to 1700-ish gold and very close to that. So both teams just going to farm till the next Roche, and LGD in theory with the Batrider, the Doom, the superior late game lockdown initiation, but DT's not too bad around the pit. You can drop the Shadow Shaman wards. Panda's still decent, at least for the next 15 minutes, and I will say, Fear, a lot of people say Panda falls off late game, and I don't disagree with you at all. But minute game with his Brewmaster at a Refresher Orb was doing complete work. Still managed to stun and Cyclone half the enemy team every fight. So
well, it depends on what
he's pretty poor, I guess,
against.
this game.
It depends on matchups
I don't
a lot.
I don't remember. To be
I
honest.
feel like Luna's one of those heroes that you just can't match up against late game. And some
with the
games,
glaives.
yeah, the glaives are just way too strong.
That's
a
fair
late
point.
game. But yeah, and also the Train Protector too. Like if he just pops his ult and Luna has like that butterfly satanic, BKB build up with the Manta, and he just overgrowth on all the pandas, she can just kill them all within one overgrowth.
That's true.
He's going to have a rough time this game, I do feel. But if they do get the initiation on top of her, like they did the last fight, and just bring her down early, that's what they need to be looking for.
There's also the Rubik who can steal the Panda ult, so that's kind of annoying to deal with as well. For now, he's got a Stolen Hex. No real great way to get into initiate with that, but, well, we're just going to wait for Roche. And actually, looks like the Dire team has detection for this. They've got a creep in the pit, and Roche has just respawned. Do they try and sneak one? They don't have a smoke yet. I believe it's still cooling down, so they'll have to go in the hard way. Still 4.5 minutes to go. As we see Morphling not reserving any money for buyback, buys that Eagle Horn straight away, Eagle Song, and, well, he's still about 1,400 gold away from the E-Blade.
I think this fight in particular, it's going to be really important that Centaur gets a jump before on any of the heroes that have BKB. Like they did last time, kill the Doombringer before he can get anything off. And that'll be really good for them.
He's done that every fight, pretty much, for the past 5 to... Well, more like 10 to 15 minutes, I would say.
It's a lot to ask for, but he needs to keep doing that, I feel, because if they all get their BKBs off, I don't feel like they have enough damage to really kill anything at this stage of the game.
Well, DT, pressuring that middle lane, not even defending their Tier 1 bottom. I guess at this point, just going for the trades. LGD is still a very scary 5-man lineup, and there's a lot of places Bat can attack you from this bottom lane, up from the river, to the side from the trees, and... as a result, they will come in the end. They'll TP in too. But already the tower's fallen.
That's interesting.
They didn't really accomplish anything. Like, they walked in mid, then they just walked away. I think they might have dropped a hill ward mid, but that's not the most important ward at this stage of the game.
Yeah, that was essentially just a free tower going the way of LGD.
Well, considering Roche is up, LGD will take it. The Radiant side, they need that map control. And the Morphling... just back in his own jungle.
Batrider looks like he's going to catch out the Shadow Shaman. Oh, weird blink. He still gets him. He's going to pull him back. Should be an easy kill.
Yeah, there's a Lucid Beam to follow this up. Dreamy you does get Hand of God it, and the Centaur ult plus Force Staff keep him alive. Meanwhile, Centaur's pressuring the top lane, working on a Tier 2 tower. Well, at least clearing the wave. And they don't have a Stampede to defend this, so LGD will take the tower. The Hand of God's also down. Is that enough for LGD to just walk into the Roshan pit? Seems like they might do it.
I don't know if it was worth even using the Hand of God and Centaur ult just to save that Shadow Shaman there.
And they needed both. If they just used one, he was going to die. So it was an all or nothing kind of thing.
Well, they saved him, but if they can just manage not to fight until those cooldowns get back up, it will be a win for them.
Centaur ult so strong.
Yeah, I mean, that's a low cooldown, but the Hand of God is a massively long cooldown.
Yeah, this Chen is not going Ags this game. I can tell you that right now. 6,200 gold. He's gone good items, Force Staff, a nice... Still, it's just a cheap, cost-effective item for a hero who's not going to get a ton of farm this game.
Yeah, so they have 3 Force Staffs now. They can force people all over the place this game.
Yeah, we'll see some ping pong potentially. LGD grouping up near the Roshan pit. The Luna sent her own Centaur in, so it's creep wars in the pit as they pressure the middle lane. Luna up to 2,600 gold with the Ancients falling, as well as the 2 towers they took. She's way back on top in terms of farm. Full 2.5k ahead of Morphling, but he's just picked up a big item. It's the E-Blade Bat. Fishing around for a jump here. Can't really go in the Morphling. He could force Staff to break Lincoln's, but then you don't have a way out of that initiation, and they'll counter you. So they'll take another tier 2.
Yeah. Well, DT's just giving them every tower for free, so it feels like DT's scared to fight right now. I'm not sure what they're waiting for.
The thing is, like, by the time they fight, they might be so far behind in items they can't win anyway.
Yeah, I mean, Panda does have his Ags up. They do have the pipe on Centaur. I'm not exactly sure what they're waiting for. As this game goes on longer and longer, we're going to get closer to that Butterfly and Luna. She's already up to her Eagle Song now. She wants to buy it.
She just got... The Morphling just got E-Blade, so that's the only thing I can think of. He got it, like, a minute ago or so, right as the tower was being sieged.
Okay.
And
It looks like it will be a free Roche, too, so...
Hey, that's... is it worth
actually,
3
never mind. They're
towers?
porting in now.
The rotation will come from LGD, but there's no Bat Rider here yet. He's coming from the river, heading a bit from the west, and will pop the Firefly. Roche dropping fairly low. Morph is forced to wave out of this one. They will Troll Trap Shout 2G, prevent him from getting a proper initiation off, but they'll happily go in. They do find the Centaur up on the high ground. He was in a great position to counter-initiate the pit. Instead, he gets pulled in, gets destroyed. The Panda ultimate has been deployed, but how much work is he actually going to do in this fight? The Luna deathballing with their teammates, trying to kill off these Panda aspects. Can't quite do it yet. Meanwhile, on the south side of the fight, Super Force staffing out, trying to retreat, and they'll go back into the pit, potentially. Is the Morphling back in there? No, he's just hiding on the high ground. Goes in. He's going to commit to this one, and he does it right while LGD jumps in. The Aegis is going to be killed off by the Radiant, snatched by the Brewmaster. Air bailing out his team, perhaps, but he may just die twice here with the Aegis. The Morphling also falls. They've lost 3, including the Aegis. They're going to lose 4, it feels, unless he can blink out, but with Firefly here, oh, he's quick. He will get out, but the chase is on. Lasso may cool down. Continues to tick away at him. Flame breaks him back, and with the Firefly damage, it's basically 4 lives. They lose the Aegis. They also, Radiant gets the kill, so the only good news is LGD doesn't have Aegis to break high ground with, but what a disaster again for DT.
Yeah, you could just see, like, the Brewmaster against the Luna in those fights. He's, like, all his air aspect and the fire aspect just died instantly. They just get rooted in there.
And that's with Luna not even being that far.
Yeah.
She doesn't have Butterfly yet. She hasn't completed Satanic to tank them, and she still just stands her ground and crushes them.
And right now, it feels like DT's running out of steam here.
Well, at this point, what do? There's no Panda ultimate. They don't have Shadow Shaman wards, and how do they actually defend their own high ground? Luna still got BKB if she needs it. Panda ult 40 seconds off. He jumps in, but in July gets instantly lifted and just slapped down by DDC and his band of brothers. LGD taking their first lane of racks at 35 minutes. And with a win here, DT will go to tiebreakers. It'll be a 3-way tie, and potentially, I believe, they don't actually advance. It'll be a 3-way tie for 4th at that point, because they'll be
so
5 and 4.
Tiebreaker?
Oh, no matter what, there's tiebreakers.
Oh, okay.
If they win this one, then we know the top 4 teams. We just have a tiebreaker to see, because there'll be 3 teams 6 and 3, and then some 5 and 4 teams.
Okay.
So we'll just play those tiebreakers to see who's 2nd and who's 3rd, 4th.
Right.
But with a loss here, then you go to a tiebreaker with 2 6 and 3 teams, the 1 team LGD, who would then be 8 and 1, who's 1st, and DT tied 3 ways for 4th place. So this is a big loss for them if they drop it.
Indeed it is, and at this point, like, it's going to be hard for them to come back from this, to be honest with you. Like, Morphling is farmed, but he doesn't do enough damage right now. They're just too tanky, especially Rubik. Something we didn't go over, Rubik is a good hero against an E-Blade combo as well. With this Null Field, it's very, very strong. Keeps all his allies alive, extra magic resistance, so the shotgun's not going to be as powerful if they ball up. And they have 3 BKBs up, and the only hero that can really get shotgun down at this point is the Rubik. Whereas Trian has a lot of strength, so he's not very easy to kill.
Yeah, Tree's quite tanky, and there's just... Even Rubik has the... Did you mention the spell?
Yeah, that's what I was just mentioning, yeah.
Sorry, I was a little distracted there. Yeah, he's a great support to have against him, and he's level 13, so he's got quite a few levels.
Yeah, and he maxed it first. He did the smart thing. A lot of Rubiks against a lineup that has a lot of spell damage will do only 2 points in the lift, and then go into the null field.
Yeah, so it looks like he just took his 3rd point now, but they'll take the tier 2 top. The noose is cinching here on DT, and LGD, they've picked up their next items. They're ready to take a commanding lead in the group stage and walk in 8 and 1 with what you could argue is just a fluky loss earlier in the stage. Regardless, they haven't qualified just yet. In comes Air. He blinks in. He goes for a greedy clap. Immediately gets doomed. He has not actually bought back for this. There will be a buyback on the Shadow Shaman. The Panda's actually dead.
Yeah, no rebuy.
I think that's game.
That's going to be it, boys. It looks like it. He's going to do what he can on the Morphling here, but he's just going to get stunned out.
Centaur will come back into the fight. He gets off the 2-hero stomp, but the Overgrowth's there to counter-initiate an LGD. March upwards onto the high ground. Haven't gotten a full suite of kills just yet, but they're looking towards it. Well, they will be pushed back for now. And in terms of buybacks, the Centaur bought back and the Shadow Shaman did. So they don't break the high ground just yet on the second lane of Rax, but they put DT even farther into the hole.
And that's the one thing I was talking about in the draft as well about that Rubik is like that instant lift. That has been and it's been amazing in these fights. They have that ward in the base, so all you have to do with Rubik is click on the telekinesis when you sense they're going to jump on the Centaur. And as soon as he jumps in, he's going to get instantly lifted, and right after they instantly lassoed him. So Centaur hasn't been able to find those jumps that they desperately needed.
Yeah, at the very least, it'd be nice to send Centaur in first, so maybe he gets focused and dies. But if Panda blinks in first and claps and doesn't have buyback, that's just asking to lose the team fight. Like, Rubik has plenty of time to react. He doesn't even need to queue it up before the blink at that point. We'll see another pause from LGD.
And at this point, Luna has her butterfly completed and another 4,000 gold on top of it.
Gets Satanic and is
just walk down the lane. They can just walk down the lane. And same thing with Luna. As soon as you bring out that tier 3, she just destroys everything. They just bounces all over the place. I feel like whenever you're against a Luna and she breaks your high ground, you can no longer win. I feel it's just so imbalanced what those glaives do on the Raxes and they even bounce to heroes. So they don't even have to focus on heroes and everything just dies.
You walk into the glaives and you just see the HP bars start like melting, especially as the bounces stack up and you get the Manta style illusions in there as well. Yeah. You ideally want to fight outside the base of your DT, but let's be honest, like, what do? You jump in, you have no easy shotgun targets, there's a bunch of heroes with BKBs, so you can't go on the Batrider, you can't go on the Doom, Luna's way too tanky. I mean, what do you go on the tree at that point? Like, I don't know what you do.
Yeah.
Tree's got a Sanch.
This is one of the problems with Chen as well. Chen is not a good hero when you're playing from behind. They did get a couple towers early, but they just lost so many towers and just gave them away for free, and you can't really do that when you're running a Chen.
They gave away 3. They gave away the tier 1 bottom, the tier 2 bottom, and the tier 2 mid, and then you go to the next Roche fight. LGD would not have been as quick into the pit if they had not given up those towers, and if they'd also taken the tier 1 mid earlier, they could have maybe threatened a tier 2 when they were pushing down around like 25-30 minutes. So, well, those decisions not to fight, it's like you keep on ceding ground and eventually you just lose by default.
Yeah, it makes me go back to like the Morphling with the Aegis. Should they have actually pushed with that? It looks like they're going to go for another... Oh,
in July gets baited, insta-doomed, and he's going to drop. Remember, he used buyback earlier. They've also managed to steal Stampede as they march forward. And, well, they're going hard now. Lin jumps in with a BKB. Just right-clicking down these Broodlings is going to be Yao. He'll try to retreat out. He Cyclones up 1 on the way out, but DDC leaps forward again. He does get troll trapped. Nice plays here in what could be DT's final hours before the tiebreakers. It seems like they're just about out of steam at this point. That comes in as well. He gets off the last one super, and that'll be another death. The Chen, the Centaur, the Shadow Shaman have fallen. There's no base trade in sight. They have no buyback on 2. The Shadow Shaman, the Centaur already bought back. Chen's going to buy back, but
how scary.
Most useless buyback of the entire tournament, I have to say. Not Super's fault, but nothing he can do now.
Of the entire tournament.
I mean, it's a Chen buyback, man.
It's up there for sure.
It's pretty bad.
So it looks like Luna breaks high ground. For me, it's like Luna at this stage of the game, if she breaks high ground, you lose Raxus. There's nothing you can do about it.
Even if they had 5, they probably lose that fight. But when they're down to a 3-on-2, or a 5-on-3, then they're not going to win that. 2 heroes dead. Can't buy back. And LGD, they'll break the 3rd lane of Rax. So this is going to be game. And DT, no longer guaranteed into the playoffs with this loss here.
It was looking good for them, but LGD's team fight too strong.
So it sets up a 2-way tie for 2nd place, as well as a 3-way tie for 4th. So we're going to have a 3-way tiebreaker and a 2-way tiebreaker, which means a total of 4 games coming your way, guys. The International 4 Chinese Qualifiers group stage not yet over, but it's getting closer. DT, their final moments here before the throne falls.
Never give up, or what is this?
This is...
Chinese teams just never give up.
This is game planning for the tiebreakers.
Probably.
Yeah, they got a few extra seconds there of planning in. Well, when in doubt, you can always pause. LGD has shown us that. They'll break the base now. This will be the end. LGD finished the group stage with only a single loss, 8-1. a big name coming into this qualifier, but it looked a bit shaky. DT had their number 2-0, in fact, in WPC, which actually knocked LGD out of WPC playoffs and got DT in. So it was a clutch match, and they won it. But hey, this is a much bigger match. It's TI4 we're talking about, and DT no longer guaranteed to advance.
I don't know. Well played by LGD for the most part. I think their draft was very solid. The way they chose to lane it was very, very strong. So they were able to get the lanes they wanted. And on top of that, Batrider was able to find... He didn't get too many picks, to be honest with you, but in the team fights, he got the right target every single time.
It felt like that laning stage went as well as it was going to, given the draft for DT. And then the mid game was still pretty good. Yeah. But it was after around the time they got the Aegis, Morphling farm Lincolns. They didn't take that many towers. They didn't force the issue. And then the next Roge fight, they just got crushed. Yeah. Lost 3 towers going into it, then tried to force it anyway. Got the Aegis, gave the kill to the Radiant, and they just fell so far behind. Never could come back.
Yep. That's pretty much it.
Well, heading into the tiebreakers, hopefully we've got our standings ready to rock and roll. Roland, this is your cue. He's pressing buttons. All right, we've got standings to look at here. So Tongfu and CIS, they will tie for second place. Okay. They'll play a best of 1. Winner is in the top 2. Winner plays LGD, and the winner of that best of 3 moves on, at least as a wild card. As for the other 3 teams, we've got LGD CDEC, Dreamtime, and one team on the second page, who I'm forgetting offhand, who's also 5 and 4. Hyper Glory
how
team.
Did we forget them?
So the teams on the outside looking in: New Element, Speed Gaming, and to no real big surprise, around CNB fell short.
Yes.
But CNB did play the role of the spoiler in their final game, as they took a match off of one of these top 6 teams. So, with that being said, Fear, who do you think's on the outside looking in out of those bottom 3? Hyper Glory team, DT, and what was the last team, Roland?
It was CIS, right? Or CIS.
LGD CDEC.
Yeah, LGD CDEC. I think LGD CDEC, from what I saw, seems like the weakest out of those.
Okay.
So,
are you confident about that?
Yes, fairly confident.
All right, guys.
You 7 out of 10.
You heard Fear. Put all your keys, remortgage your house, and bet that as well.
Remortgage your house, yes, of course.
Straight on the LGD CDEC not advancing. It's a stone cold lock. All right, we've got tiebreakers coming up, guys. We'll have the exact schedule, the list of streams ready for y'all soon, and we'll post that on Twitter. Twitter.com/BeyondTheSummit. You can follow Fear here. Twitter.com/FearDota. Myself at LDDota, and of course, Mott Dota 2 handling the observation for this game. Fantastic work, Mott, I must say. I mean, gods. BTS gods. All right, you've been watching the International 4 Chinese Qualifiers presented by Monster, guys. We'll be right back.